Hello, good morning, dear students. So, today we are doing the second part of the fourth chapter, that is the question of trust. And in the last session, we have just discussed that how Horace Denby entered into the house at Shotover Grange when the two of the workers of Shotover Grange were not available. When they had gone for a movie, and then suddenly a voice came from the backside when he entered into the house that he is facing some problem, means there was a hindrance of flowers. He was sneezing because of the flower, and a lady was standing over there. So we had just seen that the lady was asking some questions to Horace By. Fine, so let us just start further with the story. But Horst found that the flowers were hindering him in his work. He buried his face in the handkerchief. Then he heard a voice say from the doorway, "What is it? A cold or a hay fever?" Before he could think, Horace said a hay fever and found himself sneezing again. So Horace Denby found that the flowers were creating the disturbance in his work, and he just buried his face in the handkerchief. Means he just tied the handkerchief over his face, and when he tied the handkerchief over his face, he heard a voice from the door side, and someone was saying that what it is to you, means from which problem you are suffering. Are you suffering from a cold or a hay fever? So Horace Denby had forgotten that he had came to stole the safe at Shortover Grange, and he just said that a hay fever and found himself sneezing again. Then the voice went on, "You can cure it with a special treatment, if you find out just what plant gives you the disease." So the person who was standing behind has said to the Horace By that if you want, you can cure this disease by letting it know that with the help of which plant, or because of which plant, or because of which type of smell you are facing the problem of this sneezing, and maybe possible that that will cure your disease very easily. I think you would better see a doctor if you are serious about your work. I heard from the top of the house just now a question. So the lady is the person who was standing backside is saying that, and for a better treatment you should consult a doctor. It was a quite kindly voice, but one with firmness in it. A woman was standing in the doorway, and the sheriff was rubbing against her. So, a woman was standing in the door, near the door, and sheriff, the name of the dog, was standing beside her. She was young, quite pretty, and was dressed in red. So, the lady who was standing over there, she was very pretty, and she had worn the dress of red color. She walked to the fireplace and straightened the ornaments there. So she just moved towards the light and straightened the ornaments. "Down, Sherry," she said. "Anyone would think I had been away for a month." So she is saying that everyone would think that I had been out of the Chateau Grange for a month. She smiled at Horace and went on. "However, I just came in time, though I didn't expect to meet a burglar." So she is smiled at Horace By, and she is saying to Horace By that however I just came back right now from the London, and I did not expect that I would meet some stranger in my house. Horace had some hope because she seemed to be assumed meeting at him. He might avoid the trouble if he treated her right way. He replied, "I didn't expect to meet one of the family." She nodded. So the lady is saying that as being a family member, I could not expect, or I didn't expect it from you that I will be supposed to meet any of the family members. She nodded. "I see what an inconvenience it is for you to meet." So that lady who was standing in a red dress is saying to her standby that I would also see that what are the types of inconveniences you face. "What are you going to do?" Horace said. "My first thought was to run. So something was running in the mind of the Horace Denby, and the first thing that came into his mind was to run away. Of course, you couldn't do that, but what would I telephone the police and tell them about you? So he is saying to that lady that I will run away. But that lady is saying to Horace Denby that what would you do if I call the police over here? Horace said, I would, of course, cut the telephone wires first and then hesitated to smile on his face. So he is thinking that there is a possibility that he would cut down all the telephone wires. I would make sure that you could do nothing for some time. A few hours would be enough. She looked at him seriously. You would hurt me. So she is saying that she did not hesitate to do anything, and she smiled on his face. And after a few hours, she is saying that she looked at him seriously. Horace paused and then said, I think I was trying to frighten you. I said that. So Horace Denby is saying to that lady that I think I am trying to frighten you. You didn't frighten me, Horace suggested. It would be nice if you forget that you ever saw me. Let me go. The voice was suddenly sharp. So the Horace Denby is saying to that lady that it would be more easier for me as well as for the you if you forget everything whatever has happened today, means the way we had met over you, and you even forget my face. Why should I? We are going to You were going to rob me. If I will let you will rob someone else. So that lady is saying that why should I forget everything? Why should I forget your face? Because if I would stop you today, if I won't punish you today, you will just go and rob to someone else in the society. Society must be protected from the people like you. Horace smiled. I am not a man who threatens the society. So now Horace Denby is saying to the old lady that I am not such type of a person who threatens the whole society. I still from a very good reason. So he is saying that no doubt I am doing robbery, but the major purpose of doing the robbery is very good, and I hate the thought of a prison. So he is saying that when police come and arrest someone, I just hate that thought. She laughed and he begged, thinking that he had persuaded her. Look, I have no right to ask you for anything, but I am desperate. Let me go and promise never to do this kind of things again. So that lady is saying that okay, fine, if I would let you go, you just promise me that you won't do any kind of things again. I really mean it. She was silent, watching him closely. Then she said, you are really afraid of going to prison, aren't you? So that lady already knew the weak point of Horace Denby, that he is really very much afraid of going to the police and going for the prison. So she is saying that are you seriously afraid? She came over to him, shaking her head. I have always liked the wrong kind of people. She picked up a silver box from the table and took a cigarette from it. Horace, eager to please her and seeing that she might help him, took off his gloves and gave her a cigarette lighter. You will let me go, he said, the lighter towards her. Yes, but only if I'll do something for me. Anything you say. So that lady just took out the cigarette and she consumed the cigarette, and Horace Denby helped her to light up the cigarette. When Horace Denby was lighting up the cigarette, he slowly asked to that lady that will you please allow me to go away from here. So as the first mistake Horace Denby has done was to remove the gloves. He had just removed the gloves that he was wearing in his hands. So that lady is saying that okay, fine, definitely I will allow you to go from here if you do some favor or some kind of work for me. So Horace Denby is saying to that lady that okay, whatever work you will tell, I will do it for you. Before we left for London, I promised my husband to take my jewels to our bank, but I left them here in the safe. I want to wear them to a party tonight, so I came down to get them. But Horace smiled. Have you forgotten the number to open the safe, haven't you? So that lady is saying to Horace Denby that When we were going to the London, during that time I had informed my husband to put off the jewelries in the safe, but he had forgotten. So I just want to wear the jewelries tonight for a party. So can you please help me? Horace said, you have forgotten the numbers to open the safe, haven't you? So Horace Denby is saying to that lady that, have you forgotten to open the numbers or the numbers of lock? Just leave it to me. You will have them within an hour. So Horace Denby is saying that, okay, fine, you just leave it to me and I will help you to get your jewelries within an hour. But I have to break the safe. Don't worry about that. My husband won't, and I will have the safe mended by that time. So Horace Denby is saying to that lady that if you want the jewels, I need to break the lock of that safe. So the lady is saying that, okay, fine, if you need to break the lock of the safe, easily you can break. But the major problem is that the problem was that her husband should not come to no. So she is saying that, okay, fine, till my husband come, I will mind it. And within an hour the Horace opened the safe and given her jewels and was happily away. So within a period of an hour, Horace Denby opened the safe easily and gave the jewelry to that lady, and he moved away happily. For 2 days he kept a promise to the kind lady. So 2 days he did not spoke anything. On the morning of the third day, however, the thought of books what he wanted he had knew would have to be looked for another safe. So on the third day the thought came in his mind about the book which he was supposed to buy. So he was thinking that now I need to rob some new safe. But he never got a chance to begin his plan. But during these too many days, when he met the old lady, he did not even get a single chance to make a plan for the new safe. By noon, a policeman arrested him for the jewel robbery at Shortover Grange. And on that day only, by the noon time, the police had arrested Harris Tenby for the robbery of a jewelry. His fingerprints for the he had opened the safe without gloves were all on the room, and no one believed him when he said that the wife of the owner of the house had asked him to open the safe to her. So the major mistake he has done was that he removed the gloves, and after removing the gloves, he had just locked broke the lock of the door. But when he informed to the policeman that the owner of the house had informed him to do the same thing, no one was willing or no one was accepting that whatever Harris done by saying is fact. The wife herself, a granny haired, sharp tongued woman of 60, said that the story was nonsense. And the lady who told Horace Denby to open the safe, she herself said to the Horace Denby at the police station that whatever he said was nonsense. Horace is now an assistant librarian in the prison. So now he is an assistant librarian in the jail. You often think of a charming, clever young lady who was in the same profession. Means that lady has also entered into the Shortover Grange for the purpose of robbery. And who ticked him, he get very angry when anyone talks about the owner among thieves. So when anyone talks to the Horace Denby about this incident, he used to get angry. Thank you.